Welcome again, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our second installment of our DF Seeds podcast. We are again joined by Chris Varner. Chris, welcome back again.
Thank you, Jana. It's good to be back.
Thank you. So in selecting those varieties for Michigan farmers, right, and you mentioned non-GMO, DF is very diversified and has the opportunity to partner with Michigan exporters, right? We've got a number of partners that work in the non-GMO space or the specialty soybean space to export soybeans internationally, right? How did you work with those partners to ensure that we had the right varieties that would go to Japan or to Korea or any number of locations that helped facilitate some of our growth already in the non-GMO space with these partner export entities?
Yeah. Well, a lot of that was continuing relationships that John had developed with some exporters and some breeders. I will say that when Jan Motes came on board working for DF, she had some background in non-GMO sales and production. And her and I believed in the product so much, we kind of were brainstorming one day and we were like, we need to concentrate on this non-GMO market because we have some really good varieties. If we can get them, into the export market, our sales will grow exponentially. And at the same time, it's a great product for a farmer to have because they yield right with traded beans and they get a premium. And oftentimes, depending on where you're hauling into, there's a Central Michigan exporter, that some of these guys don't have to haul that non-GMO more than 5-10 miles.
Yes.
So those are all really, really huge positives for the grower customer too. So Jan and I, really concentrated on variety selection. This is why John was research director. Variety selection, maturity, knowing that it can have a really high protein and the exporter would like it. But if the yield's not there, the grower's not going to like it.
Sure.
We had to find this balance. You have to find a balance there because yes, the exporter might pay a little higher premium. The grower still doesn't want to grow something that yields poorly,
right?
Or is the wrong maturity for them. So it's an ongoing process. This non-GMO selection, especially, DF really needs to come up with like a 1.7, 1.8 good, high protein clear hilum for export.
Yep.
As now, every time you meet with anybody that's thinking about exporting, that's what they want. And as you know, you can't just dial that up in the lab today and have it next week.
Takes development, takes long-term planning.
It's a long-term planning non-GMO varieties. But we are, you screen a lot, you screen very much. And then, once I'm talking about the export market here, but once you get an exporter on something, they're pretty hesitant to
change,
leave because they know that like say the Japanese, they know how that's going to react in their plant. They know it's not going to foam too much if they're making tofu or because they know all those food quality issues that certain varieties have, and certain varieties have more than others, believe it or not. So just pursuing that and trying to, like I said, you really got to find that balance between high protein and the yield. Because really, as a seed company, I don't want to say we're serving two masters, but we are, because we have to have a market for those non-GMOs to go to, or the growers aren't going to buy them from the company,
Exactly right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, you've already talked about a number of successes, right? Maintaining high quality, working with exporters to develop new soybeans for international markets, You know, just to name a few, I've already commented on some, but from your perspective, what are some of the successes that you're most proud of from your time as president of DF Seeds?
I don't know if there's any one thing that I'm like super proud of. I think I'm proud that we were able to transition from John to me and then from me to you at this point.
Mhm.
When we transitioned from John to me, I really felt like there was, whether it was reality or not, I felt like there was a lot of people saying, "Oh my gosh, John Deal knows everything about beans. What does she know?"
Sure.
um, and you know, I mean, that just comes with the territory.
Yep.
You know, that kind of thing. I shortly after I became president, I decided I our logo really needed updated.
Mhm.
And so, you know, one of the things that I'm very happy about is we worked on with a marketing firm on getting this new logo.
Okay.
And you know, I'm pretty proud of that DF logo. You know, it's water and green and
Yep.
sun and
Yep.
signifies all those colors. So you know, I'm pretty happy about that. I'm happy that we were able to get some organic seed production going the last several years. And
Great.
that's
Yes.
becoming more and more important as the organic production rules tighten up. You know, I think growers are going to have to, you know, be seeking out organic seed, and I was very happy to find a couple of growers that would do that organic seed production for us. I think
Mhm.
that's pretty big. Um, and one of the other things we did shortly after I became president is we went to an on-demand seed treater. So
Okay.
we were able to offer easily in the plant. We
Yep.
could have done it before, but wouldn't have been an easy thing to do. We can
Okay.
offer like, okay, we can spike our basic seed treatment with Olivo, you know, for nematode or SDS control, or,
Yep.
you know, we were able to dial in those a little bit better with our new on-demand treater. It's like if we had something as small as just say 80 units that needed Olivo on, we could do that. Whereas
Okay.
the old system, you would have had a lot of waste and so on. I think for ease of use, I think that on-demand treater was a good addition for us. I think we did that in 2017. That was a really good addition for us.
That's great.
And then just the expansion of the non-GMO market since 2015 has been pretty crazy. When I first went to work for John, John told me that non-GMO beans went like this. You would have a banner year, sell lots and lots and lots.
Yeah.
And then all the warehouses in Asia would get full. And the next year you'd have hardly any sales.
Oh,
So it was a
wow.
big yo-yo. And so the one thing I will say is on the non-GMO market, it has been steady incline growth. You haven't had those dips like you had in the, you know, 2012, 2011, the earlier part of last decade.
Yep.
So that's been pretty fun. And I don't know if it's a success on my part. It's partly it is, but you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
choosing good varieties too, you know,
Yeah.
and when John was research director, we had our salesperson and me and John, and you know, we collaboratively decided what went forward.
Okay.
You know, sales might love it and think they can sell a lot, but I would be the person sitting there is like, okay, we already have 2.4 maturity beans. You can only have one.
Yeah.
You know, as the president, you can't have, you know, too many SKUs.
Yep. Yep. Makes it complicated. Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. That's right.
Very good. All right. Well, good. So obviously there is a tremendous amount of knowledge. You have made strides for the brand. In general, Chris, what do you think sets DF apart from other seed brands? You know, I think our Michigan footprint is really important to recognize that, you know, we're focused on Michigan, but I would love to hear what you think makes DF special.
Whenever I get asked that or that comes up, my mind immediately goes to the people. I believe that people, meaning our farmers, people
Mhm.
still buy from people,
Yep.
for the most part. Um, so, with seasoned people and people that are trustworthy and respected, I think that goes a long way in projecting the image that really is DF seeds. It's kind of like you get what you see.
Yep.
There's not a lot of flash.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'd rather, when I was president, I'd rather spend money on seed testing than flash.
Sure.
But I think it's really the people and of course I preach it all the time, the quality. So many new customers will, just start with a few totes, a few bags, whatever they start with.
Mhm.
But when they fill their planter and they see our seed going into the planter, and then they see the competitor seed going into the planter, that's when we get like the salesman gets the phone call, or if the salesman's there, it's real obvious thing, and
Yep.
and people notice that. So like I am kind of a quality nut.
No. Hey, that's wonderful. To put us where we need to be. That's for sure. Setting ourselves apart with quality is outstanding.
Right.
Great. So in general, right, you've been in Michigan agriculture your whole life, not just the seed, but all of Michigan agriculture from your home farm to your professional career, working and going through Michigan State and Iowa State, right? In general, what do you see in the future for Michigan agriculture?
I that's a tough one, such a diverse we have such diverse cash crops. I've spent most of my space in cash crops, right?
Yep.
We got such a diverse cash crop system here that I don't, I mean, it hasn't changed too much in my lifetime yet.
Yep.
I don't see anything changing in the crops we're growing. We're still gonna, what helps a soybean company is when dry bean contracts are low, because
Yep.
those guys will raise non-GMO soybeans. But we're always going to have this mix, right?
Mhm.
So what I would like to see, and I know you were recently in Morocco, on kind of a marketing thing.
Yep.
I'd like to, from a soybean perspective, see some expanded markets, overseas, but really domestically. I really feel that if we can start using more soybeans domestically,
Mhm.
that we're not always maybe exposed to some of those trade issues, that are out there, with the dollar's value and so on. It gets pretty complicated real quick, and that's
Yep.
why I don't think I could ever be an exporter.
Yep. Yep. It can be
Yeah,
definitely
so
complicated.
I would like to see some expanded, domestic markets, and I know, like, with some of the high oil things, they're working and they're coming in. Just think of, you know, I was working I was working in seed when that first Roundup Ready soybean
Yeah.
came, you know?
Yep.
So just think how much that changed in 30 years, and I think
Mhm.
it's changing a lot quicker now in this space than it ever has.
Yep.
So it's kind of exciting. I don't know. I'm back on the family farm now, and I think Michigan's a good place to farm and live.
Yes. Yep. I would
Yeah.
agree. I would agree 100%. So that's the future of Michigan ag. What's your future, Chris? What's next for you? You said you're home on the farm. I don't know that all of our viewers know, but you are a seed dealer still with DF, so there's still a
Yeah.
connection. But what else is in store for your future?
Yeah. So yeah, when I retired from DF, I had a first cousin who passed away that had a seed dealership in central Michigan, and I knew many, many of the customers. So we kind of transitioned those customers that wanted to stay to my dealership, Tri-County
Mhm.
Seed Solutions. And then we've been working on expanding into some new customers.
Mhm.
So I look to see that grow somewhat. But at the same token, I don't want it to become a job.
Sure. Yep. Yep.
But no, I am happy to, I retired and moved and sold a house that I had lived in for 30 years in the space of 30 days. So I've just been taking the winter and regrouping and unpacking, and I have 3 granddaughters, and one's out of state, so doing a lot
Yeah.
of traveling, and yeah,
Nice.
I'm looking forward to getting some DF seed signs and some legacy seed signs up on some fields as a dealer this summer.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So Michigan ag future, your future. What advice would you give me for my future? Right here I am in a chair that you filled so well. What advice would you give me that we can share with viewers?
Yeah.
that
Oh,
helps to
PG.
continue to
Okay.
position DF.
No, I would say, like what I just kind of touched on it, how quickly the seed business evolves
Mhm.
is you know, you're faced with a lot of challenges every day. And you know, I sat there. I know you're faced with a lot of challenges every day.
Mhm.
It's prioritizing your challenges, prioritizing your opportunities, and realizing that um in the seed business, I'm saying things happen fast, and we're a smaller company, so they can, but really evaluate decisions. You know, you got to listen and think like, what's the impact of that 3 years down the road on some of the decision making process, whether that's variety selection or, you know, it's hard. You're managing employees, you got sales staff, you know, just keeping all the people glued together is a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
But you know, just making sure you're keeping up with the evolution of the seed industry and aligning the company with it. You know, I don't think you ever want to lose the what I call the nimbleness of a small company. You know,
Mhm.
if there's a DSM on a sales call and he's got a question, customers appreciate the fact that he can call the president of the company or
Yes.
a sales manager or an agronomist and have a source just like that where it doesn't have to trickle up and you know you get an answer 10 days later.
Yeah.
I heard that a lot, that it was good to be able to just talk to a president of the company.
Great.
So,
No.
be
And that
available, maybe. Yeah, just make yourself available.
absolutely. No, I appreciate that and agree. It's a tremendous asset for this brand to have the family feel that we do, right? And the support system is all right here, all Michigan committed, right? In the direct line of communication and lack of red tape is an appealing
Yeah.
environment to work in. So yeah, that's been wonderful. Well, great.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, we really appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers from this podcast?
I don't think so. You know, I think, you know, I wouldn't have a dealership if I didn't think DF and Legacy Seeds had a lot to offer. You know, when Legacy Seeds in Wisconsin was acquired in 2018,
Mhm.
we were faced with, oh boy, besides soybeans, we got to figure out how to sell corn and alfalfa. And whereas
Mhm.
I had years of seed corn production experience, I had no seed corn sales experience.
Mhm.
So, you know, I guess I'm saying that because we got really good products.
Mhm.
Um, it's using programs like the Step Up program to get those people that know and love our beans to try the other products, you know.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
once a product gets on a farm, you know, Legacy is quality fanatics on corn and alfalfa like we are on beans. And so, you know, it really was a great acquisition as far as aligning values and so on. So, you know, I'm happy to be a dealer and still be affiliated with the company.
Great. Well, we very much appreciate your history, your expertise, and your continued support of our brand and everything that you
Absolutely.
do now as a dealer. And thank you again for joining us on this podcast.
All right, thanks.